everyone. My name is Sarah, and this video discusses SDG number 4, quality education. This goal ensures inclusive and quality education. It also promotes lifelong opportunities for all. Education unlocks the imagination and is fundamental for self-respect. A world of opportunities is opened, making it possible for more individuals to contribute towards a healthy, progressive society. A number of issues can prevent the progress of education in developing countries, such as poverty, conflict, and pandemics. Children are more likely to drop out of school, especially in rural areas. A child in a poorer household is 4 times more likely to not attend. Progress towards achieving universal education was slow, but it became even more slow in 2020 after COVID-19. Schools around the world either closed or transitioned into virtual learning. This disrupted 1.5 billion children and young people's access to education. Unfortunately, 500 million students did not have access to virtual learning at all. The United Nations states that over 200 million children will still be out of school by 2030. Pre-COVID-19 data from 76 countries from 2012 to 2020 showed 7 in 10 children were developmentally on track, but the pandemic will affect future statistics due to the school shutdowns. Almost half of the countries who provided data had disparities in access to education. For example, for every 100 literate men aged 15 or older, there were only 92 literate women in 2019. Japan ranks high in education. An international assessment test which scores reading, math, and science abilities. Japan placed second of 72 participating countries and regions in the 2015 ranking. The U.S. ranked 25th. Education is highly valued for gaining employment. In 2018, 92% of 3 to 5-year-olds were enrolled in early education and care programs. The OECD's average is 88%. By 2019, 62% of 25 to 34-year-olds had higher education compared to the OECD average of 45%. 46% of Americans in the same age group obtained higher education. In recent decades, Japan's education system has come under scrutiny because of the uniformity, exam-centeredness, and lack of independent thinkers. Many students attend extracurricular study schools in the evenings and weekends, which can take up most of the students' time. Many teachers have expressed that the classroom standards and performance have declined due to the high pressures of studying outside of school. The pressure has led to significant psychological harm in countless students. In the U.S., education is highly debated because each state can have different curriculums, quality, and topics. Some states and private schools are heavily religious-based, which omits certain subjects. For example, sciences and health classes may be taught less than religious courses. Parents have the option to take their child out of a class if certain topics are discussed. Another program that Japan's Ministry of Education wants to improve on is English. Grammar and exams are heavily emphasized in English teaching, but speaking and conversation is not. It's quite normal for a classroom setting to not have the students participate. Just listen to the teacher. As an English teacher myself, I've had students who scored extremely high on their English exams at school and get 100% on grammar. But they have trouble doing a simple introduction of themselves in English. Also, some teachers who teach English can't speak English themselves. In addition, it can be difficult for older generations to go back to school and get higher education. My husband is 34 years old and says there's no way he'd be able to go to college because he's already considered old to be switching jobs. This way of thinking is so different in Western countries, where it's encouraged for older people to get a college degree. The oldest college graduate in the world was from the USA. She was 95 years old. But Hirata Shigemi from Japan beat that record in 2016 at 96 years old. The National Achievement Test is a test that began in 2007. All public schools and participating private schools have this test for 6th graders and 3rd-year junior high school students. Nagasaki Prefecture ranked number 38 out of 47 prefectures. According to Sasebo City Hall, there are a total of 37,961 students from kindergarten to university, and 3,095 teachers. The City Board of Education has a plan to promote education that is based on different perspectives, multicultural, and develop leaders for society. Throughout the year, events are held for children, especially events that are centered around English. Policies were created in response to the decreasing number of students. This is causing smaller class sizes and social clubs. In some cases, schools have been shut down within the city from the lack of students in the area. Despite the slowness of achieving education for all, there have been improvements around the world. Since 2000, enrollment rate in developing regions has reached 91% in 2015. The worldwide number of children out of school has dropped by almost half. Literacy has also increased. In sub-Saharan Africa, they have made the biggest progress of school enrollment, from 52% in 1990 to 78% in 2012. But understanding SDG 4's progress is difficult because 75% of countries have no or insufficient data about education. Education is a fundamental human right and closely relates to the other goals. According to Global Partnership for Education, SDG 4 relates to the other goals, such as education can reduce poverty and increase income. If all children left school with basic reading skills, 171 million people could be lifted from poverty. One extra year of school also increases salaries by 10%. Education prevents inequality and injustice. Just a 0.1% improvement in a country's education equality can, over 40 years, raise its per capita income by 23%. $1 billion is lost by some countries where girls don't have the same education level as boys. The risk of war also drops by 3% if the secondary school enrollment rate increased by just 10%. Education leads to better health. A mother's education improves children's nutrition, and 4 million child deaths can be prevented thanks to the increase of women's education. Education drives sustainable growth. Better educated inhabitants are more likely to make cities and settlements more inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. Education helps us protect the planet. In a study of 29 countries, it was found that people concerned about the environment increases with education. 37% were concerned with a secondary education, and 46% were concerned with college education. Education requires partnership. Wow, look at the endless possibilities this one sustainable goal can do. To achieve this, targets need to be met by 2030, including free primary and secondary education, equal access to quality education and higher education, eliminate discrimination in education, achieve literacy, upgrade safe and inclusive schools, and increase the number of qualified teachers in developing countries. Education transforms lives for the better.